Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second JESPA press conference concerning negotiations between JESPA and Jefferson County Public Schools. My name is Laura Center. I am the president of JESPA and also a library paraprofessional. JESPA, just to be clear, is the support staff union representing approximately 4,000 employees in 256 job titles in Colorado's second largest school district. For the past 7 months, JESPA has been at the bargaining table fighting for a livable wage for our essential workers, while at the same time, our members have been living with, and in many cases, working in the public health crisis, COVID. I want to take a moment to thank our essential workers, the JESPA membership, for continuing to keep our schools safe, clean, and healthy places for our staff and students to be. Throughout the pandemic and throughout bargaining, JESPA has never wavered from our goal to compensate education support professionals with a livable wage. We continue to fight for this as many of our members struggle paycheck to paycheck and have second and third jobs in order to make ends meet. And so recently, members of JESPA met with all 5 of the Jeffco school board directors, and because of our activism, 2 Jeffco board members have moved to support us. I'd like to also mention that whereas all 5 board members agreed to meet with us in small groups, directors President Susan Harmon, Susan Miller, and Brad Rupert refused to be here today to speak in support of Jeffco's ESPs. We are disappointed that directors Harmon, Miller, and Rupert are unable to support their ESPs by joining us or by advocating for us to receive a living wage, despite their willingness to say that essential workers are integral to the work of the school district. We know that thoughts and prayers just won't be enough to recover what's been lost over the years of chronic underpay. What we have seen from these essential workers over the past few months is a willingness to step up to their commitment to the community and students by serving grab-and-go meals over the summer at our emergency food sites, providing security at the sites, cleaning our schools and work sites in order to help prevent the spread of the virus. Essentially, there is no distinction between what is good for employees and what is good for our students and staff. Our working conditions are their learning conditions. It's also clear to us from our meetings with the 5 board members that a simple majority of only 3 people on the Jeffco board can control what happens to over 80,000 students of Jeffco Public Schools, and it's approximately 15,000 workers. We hear a lot about being a family here in Jeffco, but 3 people making decisions on behalf of thousands of others doesn't sound like a good family dynamic to us. At JESPA, we know that elected officials have power, and we are committed to holding those few powerful individuals accountable to the many staff and students in the district. We see the Jefferson County School Board as really a watchdog over the district. We count on them to be sense makers when things don't always make sense. Although we are talking today or specifically about financial negotiations, you can expect to see and hear much from the members of JESPA during the upcoming political season and next year's school board election. Tonight, I want to welcome Director Stephanie Schooley, who will be speaking in a few minutes in support of ESPs. Director Mitchell could not be here in person, but we do have a statement that he provided for us to read. We thank you for meeting with us and for all of you being here. Before further ado, I would like to introduce one of our bus assistants, Karen Ocanias, who works at our central terminal, and she's going to share a few thoughts with you. Thank you. Karen?
Thank you, Laura. Good evening, everybody, and we are glad you could join us tonight. I am Karen Ocanias. I am a bus assistant in Jeffco schools for 12 years. I am the first vice president of Jefferson County Transportation Association, and I also am on the bargaining team. My story is I got extremely sick a number of years ago, which caused me to go on leave, medical leave. I have COPD, and I struggle with the weather conditions and any kind of immunity that is out there in regards to my immune system is very low. Caused me to be really sick and hospitalized a few years back, several years back. I had to fight to keep my job in the long run. But in the meantime, due to the lost wages, I had to file bankruptcy. I had lost my car. I had lost my house. I'm working in this time of COVID makes me nervous because I'm putting my own health at risk and the health of my son at risk by transporting students to school every day. If I were to get really sick right now with COVID, I would not be able to afford any medical treatment. But I take this risk anyway because I rely on Jeffco as my main source of income. I just want to make enough money to save my own life if I do get sick from COVID. I struggle with these fears every day. I struggle with the fears of taking it home and bringing it back to my family, as well as my fellow coworkers and our students. Thank you all, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Doreen Edstrom, and I'm a principal secretary at an elementary school in Jeffco. I'm also a member of the Jeffco bargaining team. In 2011, Jeffco essential workers volunteered to take pay cuts for 1 year because we love kids and we love our school district. At that time, JESPA and the district agreed that when the district recovered from their financial crisis, that our pay would be brought back up to scale. However, that never happened. It seems like competitive pay increases have been made for everyone except us. The bargaining team and many Jeffco essential workers feel that we have come last again in Jeffco in terms of pay, having fully staffed and fully funded positions and protection during the times of COVID. In education, we've all heard about the difference in being equal and being equitable. Jeffco's essential workers are not being treated fairly. And we are demanding that the district do the equitable thing and bring their workers up to a living wage so that we can continue to create nurturing and safe learning environments for students. We know that families rely on support professionals to transport, to tutor, feed, and nurture their children, our students, while they're at school. And yet we've been asked again and again by the district to bear the weight of multiple financial crises on our backs. Sorry, hang on just a second. This and the previous story illustrates why we believe it's absolutely necessary that Jeffco Public Schools Board of Education, through their bargaining team, makes a proposal for steps in COLA to their educational support professionals. We worked hard to get you voted into these positions. We chose you, and now we need you to support us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Monty Hollander, the school bus driver for Jeffco, work out of the Central Terminal. Also a proud member of JESPA, our organizing committee, as well as a member of the bargaining team. As Lara mentioned earlier, JESPA held meetings with all 5 board members in Jeffco. We asked each of them if they were willing to support essential workers making a living wage. Both Director Mitchell and Director Schooley were in support of JESPA members. Director Mitchell wasn't able to be here tonight, but he did consent to being quoted in saying that he supports JESPA and that Jeffco's salaries are inadequate. Inadequate. Our goal has to be to work to ensure that all of our employees make a livable wage. Director Schooley was able to be here with us. Thank you, Director. I'm going to ask you again the question that we asked you before and have you to take a moment to share your thoughts. Director Schooley, will you work with the essential workers in Jeffco on behalf of a living wage for the professionals who make our schools safe and supportive working and learning environments?
Yes, I will. Thank you, Monty, for asking the question, and thanks to JESPA for its advocacy for all ESPs in our district. My name is Stephanie Schooley. I am one of the 5 board members at the Jeffco Board of Education. I was a paraprofessional in Denver Public Schools more than 2 decades ago. It feels like not that long, and I have 2 students in Jeffco, one in elementary and one in middle school, and appreciate greatly the support that they are provided by ESPs every day that they're in school and when they're learning remotely. Public education is facing tremendous challenges, both in how we as a community fund educational opportunity and how we as a district and leadership deliver high quality instruction and support to all of these students. ESPs are critical personnel and provide educational support, provide safety, provide access to education, and provide nutrition, among many other things, to Jeffco students. They are essential parts of this team. This is really, to me, an equity issue for Jeffco Public Schools. It has no easy answers, and it requires that we work collaboratively to identify possibilities for how we support ESPs and ensure livable wages for all district employees. I appreciate the time that you have spent, the advocacy for your colleagues, and I look forward to continued conversations as we move toward this goal together.
Well, thank you very much, Director Schooley. I definitely heard a yes, yes, yes from you. Thank you again for being here tonight and for your continued support of ESPs. This concludes our press conference agenda. We have time now to take questions from the media, if there are any. Back to you, Lara.
Thanks, Monty. And thank you, Director Schooley and Director Mitchell, for your support of the critical workers in Jeffco Public Schools. I would like to also thank the media outlets who are here this evening. It looks like the Canyon Courier, Colorado Public Radio, and 9 News for being with us tonight. And most of all, I want to thank the many JESPA members out there for watching and for everything you do. We are in extremely challenging times, and what you do is noticed and it's important, and we're fighting for you every day. It's because of members like you that out there on the front lines every day that we have begun to move the needle on essential workers in Jeffco fighting for a living wage. We've gained the support of our 2 board members, but we still have some work to do. We're asking each and every one of you to make a single phone call this evening. And I'll get to questions in the chat in just a second, so hang on. Call the Board of Education office right now and leave a message for Directors Miller, Harmon, and Rupert, demanding that the district bargaining team comes back to the table with a financial proposal for a living wage. Please take action now by calling the following number, 303-982-6800, and demanding that our entire school board, not just the 2 supportive board directors with us who have chimed in this evening, but that all of them prioritize the health and safety of our students by supporting the lowest paid workers who are literally maintaining school function throughout the pandemic. That phone number again is 303-982-6800. please call and demand that Jeffco bargain with its essential workers. So let me jump over here to the chat and let's see what questions we have. Okay, so this question, it looks like Canyon Courier is wondering what specific requests are you making in terms of pay increases and cost of living adjustments? Given the circumstances with COVID, what else is Jeffco pushing for to protect the mental, physical health of its support professionals? So let me take the second part of that question first. And of course, if anybody on the call, wants to jump in, just put your hand up as well. But we have developed a committee with the district that has community members on it and different, essential ESP workers, as well as teachers and certified staff and administrators and, business partners, community members, healthcare workers. And we have a team that's going to start meeting on Friday and just kind of unpack any issues that come up, because this is ever changing. Every day is different than the day before. So we just want to make sure that we kind of stay on top of what concerns that our people are seeing and elevating through the Jeffco ranks. And then JCEA, the teachers union, will be doing the same thing, so that we try to stay ahead of what concerns are coming in from staff. Did anybody else want to add anything to that from our team? Okay. All right. So what specific requests are you making in terms of pay increases and cost of living adjustments? So what I will say to that is right now, the ball is in the district's court. We are waiting for them to come back with a proposal. And, we're just going to have to wait and see what they bring and how creative they can be with figuring this out. Because our people need their steps more than ever right now. They need their pay increases because they've lost their other jobs. So it's just critical that we keep marching towards a livable wage for our support staff. Are there any other questions before we end? Okay, thank you again for coming, media outlets and Jeffco members and the community. And again, thank you, Director Schooley, for being here and supporting us. And Director Mitchell, if you're out there listening to this, thank you. We feel your support. And I hope everyone has a good night. Thank you.